Mic check. Take them off for now. Let's see if anybody comes in. There's one. Oh. We'll get a few more people in here before we go hog wild. Do. Even says I'm live. Oh, there's two. Well, there's three. We can get a few of them in here. How you all do tonight? For whoever's out there. Yeah, there's five. Look out. Drop a line. Say hello. Good evening. Good evening as I'm playing on my phone. How is everybody tonight? Well, we've had some interesting amount of events that have happened in the past week. How about that spy balloon? And why the hell did they not shoot it that way? I know they were trying to protect people from getting hurt, but come on, don't you think you let it sail just a little bit too long? I would think that it would have been shot down a long time ago. Hell, have a drone go up there and take it out, you know, or put a small hole in it and well, I guess you can't do that. It's a helium balloon, so that might cause just a wee bit of an explosion. So apparently, they allegedly shot the thing down over the Atlantic, and they're going to try to recover the pieces. So we'll see how that goes. See if they can find out what the thing was looking at. But anyway, so as you all might have seen, there was a video released today. Woohoo! So I was having trouble with my editing software, and apparently they came out with an update to it. So I downloaded the update, and mysteriously, things seem to be working again. It was getting to the point where I thought my computer was computer still could be crashing, but I bought another portable hard drive, little 2 terabyte drive, and I backed up the whole system on that drive just to make sure, in case it did decide to crash all the way, that at least the videos that I've been doing will be backed up. I've actually got videos spread out throughout my house. There's a few on that computer behind me. I've got another portable hard drive that's on top of the computer that I've got videos on. I got videos in the computer that's in the office back there via the network. And I still have not got to trying to fix my editing computer. So one of these days. So I absolutely despise Walmart, and I've probably discussed this with y'all before. I don't know, but so I was so mad the last time I went to Walmart because of some of the practices they're doing. And it was one night after work that I'd stopped by there, and I don't go to a store to have to check out my own stuff. Um, I don't appreciate it. I think that there should be somebody there checking out, my items. Now, granted, I understand the theory behind the company wanting to um, be more consistent, I guess you'd say, because one thing about the self checkouts is they never call in sick. They never complain. They're always there. They're always on time. Um, just because of the fact it's a computer. But my thought is there's no social interaction between it, and they still want to check your receipts when you go out the door. So, who's to say that you couldn't mistakenly not ring something up, and you walk out of there with it? Now, granted, I know that's dishonest and I would never condone that. But in the same instance, I go there, I want somebody to check my stuff out, um, and bag it and everything, and away I go. Call me old fashioned. Uh, so the last time I went, it was, I think, on a Friday night, and it was, I think, just after 6 o'clock. It was by the time I got off of work and went to Walmart. By the time I got through the checkout, it was close to 6 o'clock. So on top of me getting PO'd because I had to check out my own groceries because there was no cashiers, none of the cashiers were open, which usually they had, maybe one or two, but there was nothing open. So I get done with that, and this particular Walmart has 3 entry doors. It has one on the north side, it has one on the east side, and one on the south side. The south side door is the garden center, which they haven't had anybody there for a long time, so they've left they just leave the door closed and you can't go in and out that door, which I get that because it's kind of remote. So I usually park on the east side of the building. That way, it's fairly close to the door no matter where you're at. And you just walk out the door, you get to your car, and away you go. So I get done with checking out and I head towards the door. There's some guy down there raising 9 ways of hell. I'm like, what is going on? And then so he leaves his cart there. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go down there and they have the doors blocked. Now, mind you, the north door is a long ways from my car, and I'm not about to go out that door. And so I got down there and I pushed the door open manually. Then I went out there, I went out to the second door and I turned the door on and got it unlocked, and I walked out that door. And I was so mad. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. First, there's no cashiers, and then they start locking doors. So the only door you can go in is the north door. That's a bunch of BS in my book. And I told the wife I was so mad that I don't think I ever go back to it. Well, I went back there today on a Saturday, no less. That place was assholes and elbows. I'm telling you, it was busy. But what shocked me even more is they actually had 4 cashiers open. I was floored. They had 4 of them open. I thought that was fantastic. And the funny thing is you look at the self-checkouts and there's nobody in line over the self-checkouts. Does that kind of give you a hint that people don't want that stuff? Just like a lot of people don't want electric cars, nor can they afford them. You know, it's bad enough, that I understand they're trying to cut costs somewhere, but you can't tell me that isn't an expensive setup to put in there. Plus, you lose that social interaction with the customer. So, customers don't want that. Customers don't want to have to check out their stuff. They want to have somebody do it for them. I hear people say, well, what do? That's the world we live in. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be that way. Now, granted, with this thing with our current administration and given all the stimulus checks and that kind of stuff, that made a lot of people lazy because people are thinking, well, I just live off the government. The government can pay me and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the problem with the workforce, too. They've got everything so screwed up. There's no drive to succeed or, be proud of something you've done. There's no, I don't know how to say it. They don't want to work because, if they can take a handout, they'd rather take a handout. To me, there's no pride in that. So if you don't work hard, you don't earn. Everybody wants to earn, right out of the gate, $15 an hour. That's what they want to earn. I started I think my first job was like, I think it was $2.20 an hour. I was 15 and a half when I stopped working, and I haven't quit working since then. I wanted to get a job because that's what my parents instilled in me, is that you work hard and you succeed. And I've done that. Granted, I think some of it's underappreciated, but I do what I can, and God willing, I'm still here, and he's taking care of me. So if you guys are chatting, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, looky there. I'm sorry. For some reason, I couldn't see anything. So here, I'm going to go down the line. They've changed some of the stuff. It comes up in different colors now. Interesting. Good evening, Doc. Hey, Stephen. Mike, good to see you, or see of you. Elbow Blocko 1, welcome. I haven't seen you here before. That's great to see you. Doc, off to Myrtle Beach. Hey, what? That's nothing. That's pretty all right. Like, take some common sense than too common. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, Doc, that Total Transmission in Chicago, man, I've been more than impressed with them for sure. I can see your chats now. I don't know why it didn't show up. Um, yeah, Mike, yeah, I can't stand Walmart either, but I just went there. They do break down in the middle of scanning. CEO Toyota. Now, see, uh, I heard the CEO didn't want to go for electric cars, but yet Lexus is a Toyota basically, and they've got a full electric car. There's a state banning the sale of new electric. That's Wisconsin, I do believe, Stephen. I seen that too, and I was like, heck yeah, if they can get that legislation in there, that would be fantastic. And guys, I'm sorry, I don't know why my chat wasn't coming up. It just, uh, I'm kind of late. Or Wyoming, that's it. Wyoming. I knew it started with a W, so I got part of that right. But yeah, the Walmart ordeal, and good Lord. So it's been kind of, I don't know if it's the same way out your all's way, but it seems like Walmart's been having trouble getting stock again on a lot of the normal items. Um, I'm lactose intolerant, so I drink uh, Fairlife milk because I do like milk and I do like chocolate milk, but I can't drink regular milk. It's got to be um, a good quality milk, and the Fairlife seems to be do me well. And it's tough to find. Try to find chocolate milk. Period. It's tough to find. My wife drinks. I usually get her a gallon of chocolate and a gallon of regular milk, and because that's what she drinks. And it's tough to find just regular milk. Um, Cage-free eggs, those are kind of tough to find. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Mike. We definitely are in a crazy state of mind. But like since we're on a septic system, the guy that put the septic system in says that the gel or the liquid detergents are not good for the septic system, and to try to use powder if you can. So we use Tide powder. Man, you'd think that there was a Tide shortage. I try to buy the biggest box of Tide I could find, and it's still only like the 102 load one. Well, anyway, they had three of them on the shelf today, and I grabbed two of them. Dog food was astronomical. I think a bag of dog food I bought today was $54 for a 40 pound. I'm like, goodness gracious. And then I had to buy cat food too, and they actually had 20-pound bags of that. So I think that was the most I've ever spent at one time at a Walmart, and it was just astronomical. Yeah, I don't, Doc, I don't agree with that, with sending all that stuff to them. They're putting us in a situation where we may end up in another war, and I am not fond of that idea. Um, I'm too old to go in there anyway to serve the country, but um, I definitely would not want to be part of the military under this current administration for sure. Um, I've never been so disgraced by a sitting president. Uh, period. Yeah, it's been that, Mike. It's been $6 down here for a while. I've been buying the cage-free eggs, and the last time I bought an 18 pack of cage-free eggs, though, it was like $5.88 at my local grocery store. I buy the cage free because they're supposed to be better for you. But you know, I also buy a lot of frozen fruit because I make a smoothie in the morning. That's my basically my breakfast. I put a scoop of collagen peptide in it, protein, and I mix banana, strawberry, blueberry, a little bit of cherry, and mango in it, and that's my and I use. Now get this. So I'm lactose intolerant, but I can tolerate whole whole milk yogurt. But the only kind I can eat is the Dannon because it doesn't have any additional stuff in it. It's just cultured milk. But I can have that, and it doesn't bother me. Strange. Yeah, Mike. The wife had she had a line on a farmer that was bringing in eggs all the time. She used to buy a flat of eggs for like $6, and I guess he either ran out or he just. Yeah, you're probably right, Doc. Um, I don't know if the guy just quit his hens quit laying eggs, or I guess it wouldn't be a hen, would it? But at any rate, so we've been having to go back to buying them. But again, I try to buy the cage-free eggs. Excuse me, no hormones or anything like that in it. Just trying to eat a little cleaner. I ain't losing any more weight, that's for sure. But I'm kind of bouncing around. I'm trying to learn about carb balancing or something like that, whatever they call it. Like I said, I'm just trying to eat a little cleaner. Cut some of the processed stuff out. It doesn't mean I'm exactly eating right, but I don't know. There's so much conflicting information on what you're supposed to eat and what you're not supposed to eat. And of course, everybody will tell you, well, eat more greens. Well, if they got pesticides on them and stuff like that, that's not going to do you any good either. And I'm no flipping rabbit. I just can't eat a ton of greens. Just never have been able to. I seen that story too, Doc. Um, some gal was on did a short or something like that. And I seen that short, and she said she quit feeding them that Purina and went to a local uh, feed store, and all of a sudden the chickens started laying eggs again. So there's something to be said about that. And I hate to think about it, but that's kind of why we make our own dog food to supplement what these guys get behind us, because I wouldn't be surprised if the dog foods and cat foods and stuff like that are causing cancer in our four-legged pals. Um, they can get it too from processed and added BS in there. Who knows what they put in it? Yeah, Mike, I'm the same way. I can tune a car pretty slick, but I'm not sure about the tuning the carbs on my own self. But I'm giving it a shot. But like I said, there's so much conflicting information. You don't know what's right and what's wrong. So, oh, excuse me. So anyway, like I said, I did an update on. I know I'm kind of bouncing around here, but I did an update on my software for my editing, video editing, and it seems to be working okay. So I've been working on the next part of that Suburban build, and kind of keep plugging away at it. I got to get out there to the shop tomorrow if I can. I got one of the other guys at work wants me to build a transmission for him, so I need to get a core tore down and find out what it needs. Steven, no, I didn't fix the chair. My wife got out of it, and it's got a blanket sitting in it, and Foxy is laying in it. That's why the chair is sitting upright, because it's got enough weight to keep it upright. Yeah, Doc, that kind of meat's good for cats. It's good for dogs too. I mean, well, they don't eat fish, but um, the cats will. Um, Usually, when I'm shredding chicken for the dog food, Yoda, the white one that you'll see floating around here every once in a while. Well, she's behind me she's over there on the couch on the corner there. She'll come up and I'll give her a piece of chicken. She thinks that's the bee's knees, boy. Yeah, it's crazy how big the diet industry is. I mean, that's a huge flipping market, huge market. Um, my thought is, we didn't really have to pay to get this way. Why should we have to pay to lose it? Put out good quality food and get rid of all the other crap. There ought to be a law against it. Across the pond that there's a lot of stuff that's banned that they don't use that they still sell here and give to us here in the States. So why don't they make that kind of a worldwide thing? Oh God, Stephen, I'm sorry about your dog eating sardines. Ooh. I can remember when I was in school up in Iowa, uh, the job that I held while I was up there is I worked for Pizza Hut, and that's when they still made dough and everything from scratch. Uh, when they went to the frozen dough, in my book, Pizza Hut went downhill. But anyway, there when I worked there on Friday nights, there was always these people that called in and they wanted sardines on their pizza. And God, they'd stunk up the whole flipping restaurant when we had to cook them dang things. Oh, they were bad. We were so happy to get rid of them, but man, people just loved them things. Am I Santa Claus? Ho, ho, ho. I guess that's a Jolly Green Giant too. No, I'm not Santa Claus. Doc, I didn't know fluoride is banned. So what do they use to brush their teeth? Or is it just another ploy that they do? Junkyard Digs is Ames, Iowa. Yeah, I've heard that. Hilton Coliseum's also in Ames, Iowa. That was about where I lived up in Iowa. It was about an hour north on 35. Because 35, when you get up to Iowa, 35 made an elbow like that and then went back north. But I seen the Scorpions, Great White, and Mr. Big in Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa. Man, that was a good concert. We're on YouTube on page. Show me opposed to meet up with somebody with a family on the fan. Nguyen. Her name is Poof. Huh. Poof the Magic Dragon. Anyway. Oh, Doc. Sardines and ramen soup. Oh. Oh. God, that makes my stomach turn just thinking about it. Nasty. But I mean, to each his own. I mean, if it's something you like, then have at it. I mean, we're all going to die someday of something. So, yeah, see, I lived in West Des Moines, and that was a cool little town. Of course, the last time I was up there, that place had blown up. I mean, it's huge. But I had friends that lived in Urbandale, uh, which is north of West Des Moines. Um, but I used to deliver pizzas when I was up there too, when I worked for Pizza Hut, and made a lot of money at it. That's before they, cut it down to where you can only take like one or two orders at a time. Shit, there were sometimes we took, no, excuse my French. There were sometimes we took 4 and 5 orders because I mean the apartment complexes, they were right close to each other. So I mean you could take like 3 or 4 orders or something like that in within a mile radius, and you'd bust them out, and of course you'd make good money at it too. I mean that was a lot of fun. There've been many a times I'd come to a door and there'll be some gal that was scantily dressed and kind of left nothing to the imagination, if you know what I mean. So, and in fact, one of them I got invited to go to uh, when I got off of work. Come on over, and I'm coming over, and she's like freaking half naked and all. It was like, the hell am I getting into here? Well, thanks, Gracie. You too. Yeah, Doc, this would have been in the early '90s for me. Of course, that's when a lot of your groups like NWA came out, and I listened to all sorts of stuff back then. Of course, you were kids, and I had a system in my car, and it was cool to rattle windows, and I tried not to advertise so it didn't draw attention, if you know what I mean. Wow, I'm only down to 2 people, but yeah, it was quite the time. That was one of the coldest winters I'd ever been in. I know one morning when we had to go to school, because school ran from 8 to 4:30 or something like that, if I remember right. But so it was dang cold for sure. And one of the apartments I lived in was really cold. And I remember one of my car was one of the few that started in that cold weather. Hmm. I think it was like 16 below wind chill. Man, it was cold. Hmm. Yeah, Doc, I'd been seeing some info on it. And, um, let's see how that story plays out. Man, I lost everybody. I drove everybody off. I got one in the room right now, according to what it is. What's up, Steven? I don't know if that counter is real good anyway, but so how are you supposed to stay warm in the UK if you haven't got any way to heat your house? I mean, if they cut off the fuel oil or natural gas or whatever they use over, you got to have some way to heat your house. I'll keep taking a 300-pound fine as long as I can keep the family warm. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. And this all could have been solved very easily. Yeah, I'm afraid you're right, Doc. I don't think they care either. But you know what? The good Lord cares, and He'll take care of us one way or the other. We may not see it, but karma's coming. I'm going to tell you. It's going to be important coming up for the vote for sure. Yeah. Yep, for sure. Big old angry, big old angry mama for sure. But anywho, man, my eyes these past couple of days, I think that in fact I know, believe it or not, the trees are pollinating down here already. They're so confused, but yeah, the trees are pollinating, and so we've got this yellow powder everywhere. Uh, so I have a feeling spring down here is not far away. Um, it may not be spring on the calendar, but it's coming pretty quick. I don't know if they shot down the second balloon, but I'd heard about that one too. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised that they waited as long as they did, unless they had some alter ego with the whole thing, because uh, those things should have been downed before they even entered our airspace. Yeah, they said it was over Costa Rica the last time I'd heard. Um, Newsmax reported on it. Speaking of which, how about DirecTV canceling Newsmax? What do you think of that stuff? The biggest war that we're going to fight, in my opinion, is going to be the information war and censorship. The point where, if you're any type of conservative or liberal, well, conservative or Republican or anything like that, or free thinking individual, and you don't agree with the narrative, you're going to be shut down. Yeah, it's like they said, Doc, you go woke, go broke. And some of that's catching up with them. I guess the CEO of Ford's getting pretty frustrated trying to get his company to go, uh, you know, a different direction where there's no bargaining, and they can't sell over MSRP, which that I don't think they should sell over MSRP either. The dealership that I'm currently at, apparently everybody around does the same thing. They do for market acquisition costs, so they'll add another 2,500 to $3,000 to the price, and that's what you pay over MSRP. I don't think that's right. And I just heard that Tesla went the other way and they marked down a bunch of their cars. They're kind of like trying to steal some of the market, and it's working. People are interested in it, and they're making them more popular. Um, some of these EVs and stuff are not selling because people can't afford them, for one, and they're not. We're not ready for that technology yet. We're just not. As much as the government wants us to go that way, we're not ready for it. We can't. It just doesn't work. Hello, Ronnie Jones. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Guilty of being right. Give your life to Jesus. Amen. Tesla's lowering its prices because of where he gets his cobalt for the batteries. Yeah. Yeah, there's just, you're not gonna make an electric truck work. It just, you can't do it. I mean, there's one of the guys that works next to me at the shop. He's big into electric vehicles, and he's funny dude. Um, but we have conversations about this all the time, and he, man, I hate putting gas in a car and stuff like that. I'd much rather just hop in my EV and take off and go. He's got a first generation uh, Spark EV, and the battery on this thing is apparently pretty tiny. He says he can go like 53 miles if he doesn't use the air, and it's like 41 miles if he uses the air conditioner. Um, and I'm like, well, that's not going to get you very far. And he's got a Escape hybrid also that needs the battery cells replaced in a couple of them. And he cracks me up. He says he wants to get a Tesla. I'm like, why? You, if you get an electric car, you have to sit there at the charging station for at least like an hour to get a decent charge. I can stop at the gas station, fill up the tank in 5 minutes, and be on the road and go another 300 to 400 miles before I have to stop again. And he goes, well, how often are you going to go 300 or 400 miles at a time? I was like, well, I go probably 350 miles in a week back and forth to work. And I only have to stop at the gas station one time to fill up. Otherwise, I just hop in it, hit the starter, and away I go. So it's a funny conversation. But he's a good kid. He really is. I call him a kid. He's young enough to be my kid. I guess he's not really one though. He's 31, so but he's a smart dude. Man, he's smart electrical. He's good with it. Um, if he gets all of his hybrid training on it, he'll do good in hybrid stuff. I would just be afraid if somebody took a shortcut on a hybrid. I've had to rebuild. I've had to repair a transmission in a Volt, which is GM's hybrid. They're still making that car too. But like, I guess we got one of them sitting there now that it's sitting because we can't get a battery for it right now. So it's a kind of a supply and demand type of thing. Uh, in the range, but we don't have the right technology yet. Interesting. Uh, Doc, the Volt is not full electric. Now the Bolt is a full electric car, and it's the same size as like a Trax or something like that. Um, but it is all electric. But the Volt was not. The Volt was a hybrid, gas electric. It's also a plug. It'd be a plug-in hybrid. You can either charge it with the car or you can plug it in. So yeah, the Volts. I've driven a couple of those. Those are kind of neat. The transmission is actually a 5-speed transaxle. It has two drive motors in it, um, an upper and a lower. The damn thing's heavy. I can tell you what, that transmission weighs a crap load. Um, like I said, I've had to replace um, one of the sensors and the armature on one, which is kind of neat how the thing works. But if you, as long as you follow the procedure for disabling the battery, you're fine. I mean, you'll do just fine. Yeah, see, I'm okay with hybrid. Just like Toyota's had their Synergy drive for a long time, which is a hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid, but it is a hybrid. Now I think their new stuff is a plug-in, but um, they've got that system down where it works very well. Um, yeah, yeah. Toyota definitely did it right for sure, and they continue to do it right. Now, whether I don't think they're ready to do full electric either. I don't think Toyota would support it. They keep pushing this electric stuff so bad, but I really want to know from the people out, that in the real world, um, if they would actually buy an electric car, is it practical for most people to do, or is it more geared towards this next generation of kids that don't know any better? I mean, yeah, I mean, to me, it's got to be that for me. I mean, they got to have incentives more than anything, but who's to come up with the kickbacks though? That's another question I would have. Is like, what do they benefit out of it? I mean, why is there so much of a push to do that? Because it's not about climate. I mean, it might be a little bit about climate, but uh, what's the real reason? Well, yeah, if they got stock in it. was something else I heard the other day, and I can't, for some reason, I can't remember what it was. I think here just a second. I thought it was somewhat important, but it may not have been. Apparently it wasn't important enough for me to remember it. So, oh, anyway. Well, I don't know that I know much more this week. It's just another week that come and gone. Yesterday was my mother's birthday. She's all of 77 years young. So hopefully I'll have her for a while yet. Shoot, she may live as long as her mother did. Her grandma passed away at 99, so hopefully this world's around that long. Only the good Lord knows that for sure. My late sister's birthday is next week, February 8th. She would have been 54. Yeah, she'd have been 54 because I'm 51, and she was 3 years older than I was. So Stephen, I knew that was coming, and I was thinking about that the other day when I was out there, and I was going to try to work on it today, but the wind, and it was kind of a little bit too cold and windy, but I was going to record that and says, this one's for you, Stephen, so you see it. But one of these days I'll get to it, just like half the other projects I got going. I got to get after this faucet in the kitchen. I'm not looking forward to laying underneath the counter and doing that, but I need to get it done because it won't quit leaking. But at any rate, you guys got anything else for me, or shall we call it a night? Let me know. Guess I really didn't need these glasses. I can see the screen tonight. Sniper throttle body. I have not used one of those, and I have heard good things about it though, and it's pretty neat the way that thing works. I've done a little research on it because I thought that'd be kind of a neat to make it look like carburetor, but it's got fuel injection on it where you can't go wrong with that. Again, it's a over glorified throttle body injection, basically, is what it is. But it's really cool how the thing's set up. Is it doesn't have the traditional injectors in the center of the throttle body. They're actually looks like a 4150 Holly, and it's got depending on the model, it's got injectors in each bowl. There's 2 injectors in each bowl, so there's an injector for each port. And I guess those things will support up to like 900 horse. It's crazy, and it's tunable, which I thought that was pretty neat. So I mean, for a simple setup that would look good like that, and still have the the old school um, air cleaner, that's pretty neat setup. Stephen, no, I don't think the ants had anything to do with it. The thing kept getting struck by lightning or an electrical surge that took the board out, because every time I'd go in there, it usually cooked the batteries, or there'd be a cap. There's a cap down there at the one of those pancake caps that's down there next to the input from the transformer. And like this last time, it blew that dude completely in half, which means it got a power surge. They don't have the ground rod set up just right. So the last time I did it, I just used the ground that was coming from the house. So that didn't work either, because it still got a voltage spike and popped it. So one way or the other, I need to come up with a different type of power source, and and I've got a ground rod. I just haven't got it in the ground yet. But I'd say if I get a proper earth ground, it should be okay. And I'm gonna figure out some way to put some sort of surge protector in it. So maybe if it pops a surge protector, at least I'd do that instead of the board. Stephen, I don't know if they're attracted to the electrical current that it puts off kind of a um, um, electrical radiation or something like that they're attracted to, or maybe the buzzing or something like that. That I don't know, but the last time I put it together, I sealed the box up because I'd gotten a new box, and I sealed all the ports in the box with silicone when I put it together, and I'd never seen another ant in there since then. They would crawl over the top of the box, but they couldn't get in it. So I know that worked. I just weird. Yeah, you can't. I can't get a ground rod down there 18-foot, Doc. There's no way. Um, the longest one I ever had to do was uh, when I put electric in my shop that I had back up home. When I bought this, my first house I bought had a detached garage, and it didn't really have electric in it to speak of, and I wanted to put electric in it, so I got a permit pulled, and I put a 200 amp service in it. And to do that, I had to get a ground rod 8 foot in the ground, and before I covered it up, they had to come out and inspect it and make sure that the ground was correct, and it was, and they were happy with it. So, but it had to go 8 foot down. Well, I agree, the longer the better, but down here there's a lot of lime rock, and I got a lot of sugar sand on my property, so the sugar sand wouldn't be a big deal to get through, but the lime rock's another story. So I don't know what I'm going to run into when I start hammering this ground rod in. We'll just have to kind of play it by ear, and see what happens. The ground rod that I got was a freebie, and it's not that long, but I think it's sufficient enough it would work. And they pulled the power on this thing off of, it doesn't have its own breaker, which it should. I'd like to get some electrical done. Not that I can't do it, but I don't want to be crawling around an attic. I'm getting too old for that crap. So there's two things that I want to get done. I want to get the proper wire going to my shop that I have here. And I also want to run a separate circuit for the gate by itself, that I can put a GFCI breaker in the box, and figure out what I want to do as far as a surge protector. Oh, I'm sure that's true, Doc. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. So at any rate, there's a couple of things that I want to get done. Got to get some money saved up, though. What's up there, Sean? Welcome. It's the first time I've seen you chime in here. That's cool. You got an 85. I do love the third gens. Man, have you seen the market? You seen all those ones that went across Barrett Jackson here lately, or just recently? Holy cow, they got some money for them dudes. And they got that Survivor 89 convertible or something like that, or original car, only had like 500 miles on it, went for something stupid like $90-some thousand, $93,000 or something like that. That's all right. I'm not fast at typing either, so don't let it bother you. What's your question, Sean? Lay it out here. Most of those are investors or collectors that have been doing this a long time, but ooh, that's a long time to be sitting. I'm sure that fuel tank's nice and skunky. Been sitting since 06. I'd probably say you're going to have to go through that whole fuel system. Well, shoot, Doc, 90K for a car, that's almost not unusual for on today's prices. Jet lag. How you doing? Yeah. Cadillac Escalade's over 100 grand too. Tired. Yeah. I understand it's getting late for old Smitty too. This is the latest I've been up all week. Um, I've been having to reset my alarm so it goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning anymore. Oh, Sean, what do you want to change it to carburetor for? Drivability is not the same. I mean, on a carburetor versus the tune port, and the tune port will run all right. It's just going to take a little bit of work. Well, I mean, if you change it to, well, it's not that hard, to be honest with you. And if you want to contact me, Sean, you can do it at my email, and um, we can swap phone numbers or whatever you want to do that way. But I don't give it out on here. Um, just drop me a line at or, if I could type. Try that one. But yeah, that's my email there. You can just get a hold of me there, and we can go from there. But no, if you decide to go carburetor, don't beat up your tune port, because there's a lot of people out there that would like to have those. There's a lot of guys that are restoring them. Just, oh yeah, yeah. New Jersey's been getting hammered for sure. Yeah, Sean. No, most people guys are looking for the tune ports. Going to look for the whole thing. In other words, they'll want the distributor and the whole intake, and try not to cut up your harness either. I mean, because that harness is actually two pieces. There'll be the body side, which supplies your power distributor and so on and so forth, and then your ECM side that goes down through the passenger fender and inside the car. I'm 10-4 on that, Sean. Um, I may not answer tonight because, like I said, it's getting late for me. I need to. It ain't but too much longer before I'll have to get off here. I need to get to bed so I can get up and go to church in the morning. So it's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. Like I said, it was a little brisk today. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, sure thing, Sean. Thanks for stopping in and dropping a line. Appreciate it. I knew what you meant, Sean. But yeah, good night, buddy. Have a good evening. Take care of those kiddos. They're our future. Oh, excuse me. Well, fellers, old Smitty's going to call tonight too. I'm going to fall asleep in front of you here. So I'm going to call it a night. I want to say thank you so very much for stopping in, saying hello, and gossiping with me. I know it's kind of different since you're typing and I'm talking, but I definitely appreciate it. So um, y'all make sure to have a good evening. Remember to take care of your loved ones. Check in on your parents if you still got them, and do what you can to keep your head above water and keep praying. So that being said, y'all have a good evening. God bless you and God bless America. We'll see you soon. Oh, bye bye.